Sometimes, wandering where the Wi-Fi is non-existent, you often get a better connection. There's often times when I look around and I don't even know where I'm at, and I think that's a pretty cool feeling. As I always like to say, when something good happens, travel to celebrate. If something bad happens, travel to forget. If nothing happens at all, travel to make something happen. As me and 6 others prepare for our backpacking trip in the Grand Canyon, it first wasn't without a big hot meal to prepare ourselves for our all-day hike. Once we finished our breakfast of scrambled eggs, potatoes, and bagels, we then all gathered our gear to prepare ourselves for a 24-mile journey across the Grand Canyon. With the first 2 water stations being down at Supai Tunnel and Roaring Springs, we wanted to make sure that we hydrated up in our hydro flasks and our bladders. I've always heard that starting at the North Kaibab North End Trail and then finishing on the south end at the Bright Angel Trail was the easiest way to go about it. So that's what we ended up doing. With Bright Angel Campground being our main destination for today at 14 miles from the start of the trailhead, the main thing we wanted to focus on was just enjoying the views, staying hydrated, and staying cool. I mean, how can you go wrong with these views when you're backpacking in the Grand Canyon? Once we got to our second water station, and the sign telling us what we already knew, we were about 0.4 miles away to our next water station, which was Manzanita. In the time being, we were enjoying some epic waterfalls from a distance and still enjoying the amazing views that the Grand Canyon had to offer. So I'm not quite sure what happened to the bridge leading to Ribbon Falls, but what I do know is we found a detour that led us to the beautiful oasis sitting at the bottom of the Grand Canyon. With this epic view, this is almost too nice not to pass up. Ribbon Falls sits just above 100 feet, located just 4 miles from the Bright Angel Campground, which is where we were headed next. Since we'd already hiked about 10 miles from the North Kaibab Trail, this was a perfect destination just to sit, relax, and enjoy these epic views looking up. After leaving Ribbon Falls, we still had another 4-point-some miles to go to our destination, which was Bright Angel Campground. But first, it wasn't without going through this section of the hike called The Box, which is on the North Kaibab Trail, where you head into the inner gorge of the most narrowest part of the Rim2rim hike. Not only is it the most scenic, the coolest, and the most photographic, but there's a few bridge crossings, and there's also the river that runs just to the right of you, where you can dip your feet in if you're feeling a little tired and just want to cool off. was our campground for tonight. Once the rest of the crew arrived, they set up their tent and gear, and they went to go explore over what Phantom Ranch had to offer. Phantom Ranch is only a couple hundred feet from the Bright Angel Trail campground, and you could purchase either a hot meal and or some snacks, especially after that 14-mile hike to get here. After a good night's sleep and a well-served breakfast, we were off to our next destination, which was Indian Garden Campground, which was 6.5 miles away. But first, it wasn't without passing the Colorado River, which is the barrier between the North Rim and the South Rim. I gotta say, after about 15 miles in, this hike has been one of the most epic hikes that I've ever been on. The Rim2rim hike has been something I've wanted to complete for the last couple years now, ever since a good friend of mine completed it twice and instantly inspired me. You know, it's kind of crazy. I had never actually anticipated wanting to complete this goal, but I love when something unexpectedly inspires me. I always treat those moments as a sign and pure motivation. And we have good people like Melanie here, you always enjoy these journeys just a little bit more. So live it up and take it all in and appreciate it. a few miles to Indian Garden Campground. But with these views, it made the hike just go by in such a blur. If you're a person that keeps track of time or distance, just remember to keep your eyes on the horizon and your nose in the wind, and you'll be there in no time. not too tired to record anything at the campsite, this is about roughly where we were camped out at. With about 4.5 miles to go to the top of the South Rim, we all decided to get a good night's rest so we can wake up early enough to hit the trails before we had to hike through the midday sun and heat. With only a few miles left to completing our journey, I couldn't get over the amazing views that this trail had to offer. Not only that, I was just as amazed at how well everybody did in our backpacking group. With an elevation loss of 5,760 feet and an elevation gain of 4,380, you would expect good endurance and stamina from anybody. Although a few people in our group did struggle, if you stay positive in a negative situation, you win, and that's exactly what they did. As we reached about a half a mile left to go to completing our goal at the finish line on the South Rim, the views just kept getting better and better, and the only thing we can taste at this point was a cold beer going down our throat. Due to two of our members having to leave the campsite early to catch a flight back to Pennsylvania, we all made it back around the same time. But on an end note, the farther you go, the bluer the sky, the wider the views, and the bigger nature becomes. That is the Grand Canyon. Live life up and never stop exploring.